As I was saying in the beginning, for those of you who have joined since the start, my name is Laura Petersen. I am a Senior Security Research Advisor at UIC. I work at the Security Division, which is the UIC team who facilitates the UIC Security Platform. And the Security Platform is contributing to the Train to Be Equal project by addressing the topic that we're having today at the webinar, the security of women in the rail environment. The main objectives of the security platform are to share experience among UIC members in order to identify best solutions, best practice on how to address security threats. So similar to what Ju was already saying just before. To also ensure coherence between different security policies to help development of international traffic. We elaborate recommendations regarding different technologies, human factors, or organizational aspects that can help improve security in the rail environment. And we also address new threats and develop innovative solutions through the participation in EU-funded research and innovation projects. Our current chair is our Rail Protection Force of the Indian Railways, and we're co-chaired by the Security Directorate of SNCF, which are the French railways. Our steering committee is made up of different working groups chairs, the different UIC regions, and different partners that we have, other international associations that work on security in the rail environment. We have 3 permanent working groups, one focused on new technologies, another dedicated to human factors, and a third dealing with strategy and regulations. And we also have, based on the needs of members and the changing news environment based on security threats, thematic ad hoc working groups. Currently, the 2 that are running are sabotage, intrusion, and attacks, as well as crisis management. Whew, so that's us in a nutshell. One of the tools that we use at the security division, at the security platform, is what we call the network of quick responders. So as you can see on the little diagram on the screen, is how it works is usually a member has a question about an arising security issue. They send it to us at the security division. We elaborate a short questionnaire, around 10 questions. We then send it out to the security platform members who have agreed to be a part of this network of quick responders. And then the answers come back to us and we analyze them. So for the 44th network of quick responders, we actually sent one out on behalf of the Train to Be Equal project on the topic of security of women. It was over the summer period, so we got a little extra time to respond, about 2 months to respond to the questionnaire. We got 14 responders from 13 different countries, and I'm going to give you a quick summary of what we learned on the topic. So for those of you who were with us at the first Train to Be Equal webinar, we learned how important it is to actually have disaggregated data based on gender. So to have data for women and for men on their experiences in the rail environment. So the first question that we asked was, is the aggression data disaggregated by gender? So when you get a report of aggression either towards staff or towards passengers, do we disaggregate it by gender? And it's a little bit half and half. So for passengers, a lot more no's than yeses, but for staff, some more yeses than no's. So we're not all yet keeping these statistics disaggregated. And since we don't have a lot of statistics, that sort of biases all the rest of the questions that come up. We also asked for those who have the data on gender-based violence, if they did any sort of risk or threat assessment, and if so, what were the patterns? And unfortunately, there's no real clear patterns, and especially not when you can compare the answers amongst the different responders. I put just 3 on the screen. Some say majority of incidents are during off-peak hours, but others say it's during nights. Some others say the most often happens in the trains, and another says it mostly happens in the stations. So we really can see that this is a threat, a crime that can occur anywhere, anytime. Concerning reports of gender-based violence, we asked if they have, compared to the last year, gone up, gone down, stayed the same. Here we really need to take this with a grain of salt because we only had 6 response, where we can see sort of either an increase or stable, or one person said a decrease when it comes to passengers. We have passengers in blue and staff in green on the screen. And some of the responders said that while it looks like an increase statistically, it actually is more likely that we've made it easier for people to report gender-based violence. And so it looks like an increase, but it probably isn't an actual increase in the amount of gender-based violence occurring in the railway. We also wanted to know about the regulatory environment regarding this topic for the different railways. And Most of the respondents, 8, have some sort of national regulation that is applicable to them and how they are supposed to address the issue of gender-based violence in the rail environment. And about half also have some sort of internal procedure to allow them to respond to this crime. For example, I have a quote here about a protocol for preventing sexual bullying and harassment by reason of sex. We already knew going into this that a lot of the measures that help improve the security of women are involved with like the security of everyone in the rail environment, right? So everyone needs to feel secure, needs security in order to take the rail. And so we asked the responders which measures they think help play a role in women's security. And the most often brought up were CCTV, staff training, awareness campaigns, presence of security staff, and like a dedicated emergency number or a dedicated app where people can report about any crimes that they witness or experience. And many said that really the general measures are the measures that they have. When we were asked if they had specific measures to combat gender-based violence, most did not have them. And while awareness campaigns in general are very often used, only 5 respondents said they have specific awareness campaigns for gender-based violence. So where does that leave us? In summary, unfortunately, aggression data is not always disaggregated by gender, so it's hard to really get a picture on where gender-based violence is. For those responders who do have disaggregated data and can talk to us more about gender-based violence, there really wasn't any pattern identified concerning the occurrence of gender-based violence, and that the rates of the recorded violence vary greatly. And as I already said, oftentimes a statistical increase is actually just an increase in reporting and not an increase in the amount of gender-based violence occurring in a given public space. A majority of respondents do have national regulations which apply to the company, and half have developed an internal procedure for dealing with this. And everyday security measures are seen as contributing to the security of women, with a few respondents also applying specific measures.